me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc, where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
The burden of maintaining, planting, coming up with a strategy and a game plan for how to nurture these trees, the burden falls on typically the Parks and Rec department. And so that's just one small part of what it takes to maintain Parks and Rec. And so anything we can do to streamline the current operation just allows us to accomplish those urban forests that we want planted, those playgrounds that we want updated, those deferred maintenance projects that we want to bring closer and closer to being complete.
Welcome to the Daily Parks and Recreation Show. Today, we're bringing you the future of facility maintenance, from smart cities and IoT technology to robotic lawnmowers that take the grunt work out of park care. We'll dive into how these innovations are saving time, money, and resources, all while making our parks more sustainable. Get ready to learn how smart technology is changing the game in park management and keeping our communities thriving. Let's jump in.
All right, this is Craig LeBlanc, the Doorman, with the daily, facilities maintenance show for the Daily Parks and Rec Show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Just sticking with forming the habit of showing up every day, every morning, 10:30 a.m. For facilities maintenance. We've actually got several guests planned this week. This might be one of the few weeks that we have left on the books where we are not booked solid, because I see a lot of traffic that's booking for this show. So what is this morning show about? All things facilities maintenance. If you are in the Parks and Rec industry and you are maintaining facilities, whether it be a golf course, not like swimming facilities or swimming pools rather, aquatic centers as they are commonly referred to, or whether you are a tradesman, that's maybe an electrician, a plumber, or you're maintaining green spaces, anything to do with facilities maintenance. We also have several really reputable vendors that are coming to showcase their products and services that have been serving the industry for decades. It's kind of how I pick them. So if you are a vendor that has been serving the Parks and Rec industry for a couple of decades, please reach out to me. Love to have you do some type of educational show with us here on the facilities maintenance edition of the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Also, if you are a superintendent, we'd love to have you on here to kind of share with you all the wisdom you've gained over the years. And also, if you can recommend any vendors that you've been pleased with, kind of vet them out for us, help us get in touch with them so that we can have them on the show to kind of educate us on their products and services that they've been working with you on. So that's kind of what we're doing here at the 10:30 a.m. slot with the I'd have another podcast at night for Bitcoin. So sometimes I'll spit that out. Okay, so let me go ahead and play the little promo that we made for this show, which will be running throughout all the other shows as well. Here we go.
Welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, where we highlight the essential work that keeps our parks and facilities thriving. From local ball fields to multi-use athletic complexes, field maintenance ensures every space is safe, ready, and welcoming for play and community events. Facility maintenance is the backbone of operational excellence, ensuring that recreation centers, playgrounds, and shared spaces are functional, clean, and built to last. Behind the scenes, equipment maintenance keeps vital tools and machinery in peak condition. At the core of future-forward thinking is sustainability management, integrating green practices that reduce environmental impact and enhance long-term resource stewardship. Facilities maintenance is more than routine upkeep. It's strategic, essential, and foundational to building healthy and resilient communities. This is the Daily Parks and Rec Show, honoring the professionals who keep our spaces running and our communities strong.
All right, so that's our little promo for this time slot with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Actually, we are now calling ourselves DPRS Media Co. We're an official company, LLC. It's a network media company that is exclusively for Parks and Recreation. And so you can kind of see how we're building out the different time slots, growing from our original flagship show of the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We've now rebranded that one Leaders in Parks and Rec. And that's kind of for people who have risen up through the ranks and become assistant directors, superintendents, stuff like that, or people that are just, really doing well leading in whatever department they are on. That's kind of our 12 noon show. But this show, by popular demand, was created for the maintenance professionals to have a show for them, mainly because there is a huge amount of wisdom and know-how and expertise and craftsmanship that goes into maintaining all things Parks and Recreation. And they even have things like urban forestry, which is a small part, but a lot of effort goes into maintaining the urban forest throughout our communities, whether it be along roadways or in mediums or in parks or you name it. Typically the burden of maintaining, planting, coming up with a strategy and a game plan for how to nurture these trees that burden falls on typically the Parks and Rec department. And so that's just one small part of what it takes to maintain a Parks and Rec department, top to bottom. And so I'm not sure that if you became a master in urban forestry or an arborist, certified arborist, that really prepares you to become a master at an aquatic center, but they're still in the same department. And neither one of those probably prepare you to maintain a golf course or green space or athletic fields, but still in the same department. Probably none of that prepares you to be a plumber, an electrician that's maintaining ball field lights or, bathrooms all in the same department. So when we say maintain or playground equipment or splash pad equipment, whether or chemicals that we're spraying to maybe combat weeds and stuff, or how about drainage, or how about irrigation? All these are different skills. These are different crafts. These are different masteries, all that kind of fit under that umbrella of facilities maintenance and Parks and Recreation. And we're going to cover them all. And sometimes we'll do like a mini series, which we're trying to gear up right now just for urban forestry. We got 4 shows, 4 days a week. So we have 4 hours of content each week times 52 weeks. So we're looking at 208 episodes a year that we'll be focusing on this. So some of them we'll do series, some of them, whether it be like how to maintain, how to do maybe a monthly inspection on a playground safety, that kind of stuff. So if you know of any experts in these arenas, whether it's, hey, I knew a urban forestry expert, or, I am a certified arborist, been working for this Parks and Rec department for 20 years. I've been maintaining urban forests for 20 years. I'd love to come on the show and share what I've learned. Encourage you to please come on the show and share what you've learned. Same thing for aquatic centers, same thing for golf course management, same thing for irrigation. All these different topics is what we're going to be covered. It's what the show is going to be about. So we needed about a month to really set up all the back end tech to be able to post this across all of our social media platforms, to build out the logos, to build out the commercials, to give it over to our networker to start slowly introducing the show to superintendents and facilities maintenance professionals, and then to start booking them. So this week, you're going to start seeing a lot more of those bookings. You'll start to see a lot more of the social media being just dialed in. And this would be version 1 I would say version 1 is going to last maybe 3 or 4 months before we do a refresh on the brand. Um, because you really do need those reps to really understand what the show is all about. That being said, this is your show. If you are in facilities maintenance, this is your show. This is your content. Please help us to dial that in. What type of content would you like to hear? What type of expertise would you like us to showcase? Are there any vendors out there that you're happy with? Are there any maintenance professionals that have given decades of service to this community that you'd like to highlight? This is what we're going to start digging for. And so you can help us kind of dig and find those just by reaching out to me on LinkedIn and say, hey, Craig, we have Mr. John. He has been with us for so many years, and he is a master at maintaining and organizing and you name it when it comes to golf courses, right? And so then we'll reach out to him, get him on the show, maybe even get some of the vendors and do like a little panel that work with golf courses, whether it be irrigation or the lawn maintenance equipment. And boom, we've got a show. And maybe we do that as a 2 or 3 part series. If it's, we don't want to rush through it. If it takes, 3 hours, 3 shows, fine. We want to make sure we're producing good content. And then all this gets thrown up in our YouTube library so that later on, if you heard a great show or educational, educational series put out on a given topic, you'll be able to find it and replay it for your workers, for your superintendent, for what have you. And that's kind of our goal here with the facilities maintenance show. So I'm trying to think if I have anything else to add for that. That's kind of it. Notice like on this show right here, this will be the first show for facilities maintenance where in the description, we've got a lot of that laid out. So if you're watching us live on Facebook, LinkedIn, or X, let me know how the description looks. I literally just typed that out over the weekend. And of course, I tried to spell check it. My grammar's probably way off. My punctuation's everywhere. You'll probably realize I love capitalizing words if I think they're important. But give me some feedback on that in the comment sections of all those platforms so that I can continue to dial that in. But anyway, this should be the first time you see somewhat of a description. And for that matter, you should also start to see a description in all the social media platforms for the Young Professionals Network show on Fridays, the Leaders in Parks and Rec, which is the show following this show at 12 noon. And then, yes, this Thursday is our first ever newest show called Youth Sports Mastery with my co-host, Aaron Locks. This is kind of his baby. I'm just helping him launch it. I'll be there with him as long as he needs until we get it ramped up with guests and everything else. But I'll be running all the back end with our team here at the Daily Parks and Rec show. And then we also have, so I think we got squared away for facilities maintenance. I'm going to use the rest of my time here with y'all to kind of give y'all updates on what we got going on. Last week, Trixie started. This is kind of her first, I think, full week, or maybe she just started middle of last week. So welcome to our latest video editor. We're also checking out some new AI tools. If you haven't heard, AI is a big deal. After AI, we've got like GAI, which is called General Artificial Intelligence. And that just means that like a human, it can walk up to a job site and in general apply his or her intelligence to the problems. It's not a specific intelligence, but general intelligence. That's going to be like the next evolution of AGI, or that's called AGI, artificial general intelligence. And then the next leap was LLMs. That's large language models. That's what you see with ChatGPT on Grok and all this other stuff. But the next big thing, which we're starting to use here at the Daily Parks and Rec show, and I actually have a guest coming on to our leadership series who has done a deep dive into using AI agents for parks and recreation and governmental work. And we're starting to use agents with the Daily Parks and Rec show. And an agent is almost like, think of an agent like a real human that you hire to help you with your daily task, kind of like an assistant. So just like if you have an executive assistant or just a general purpose assistant, go get me some coffee, go take out the trash, but it's all got to be digital, right? So instead of taking out the trash, go get me some coffee. You're like, hey, can you send these LinkedIn invites? Can you remind these people about this event coming up? Can you post this thing on Facebook weekly about this maybe farmers market that we have coming up? And so these are called agents where you can design these workflows. And so we're starting to do this for our work, but I'm excited to have someone on the show that has really dug deep into how this works in government, specifically Parks and Recreation, so that you can take a lot of your repetitive monthly and weekly tasks and train an AI agent to do a lot of this for you. And then you can go and sit more in the creator seat, as in you're creating these workflows, you're help dialing in that agent, but you're not really doing a lot of the repetitive work. So if any of your work is repetitious, um, and maybe just needs a little front end creativity to create the workflow or organize it, then AI agents is going to be a huge boost in productivity for all humans with repetitive tasks. And I think most of our work is somewhat repetitive. At least there could be some framework where 90% of it is repetitive, and we just need to like create a new title. And you could even tell it, create a new title every week, and it can generate that just like with large language models. So this is a lot of cool stuff that's coming out. I'm hoping, this is my personal mission, um, to have Parks and Recreation be a leader in AI and a leader in these agents and a leader in Bitcoin. So these are disruptive technologies that are coming to for everyone and everything. And typically, I'm sad to see that municipal government and Parks and Rec is always the last adopter. And there's really no need for it to be the last adopter. It could be the early adopter. I can already see that it's going to be the earliest adopter for autonomous robotic um, field stripers, or where they paint the lines on the soccer field. Okay, so here we are as an industry, one of the earliest adopters for that, because we're one of the few industries that paint soccer fields. So here we are in the perfect position to be an early adopter. So there's nothing saying that we can't also be an early adopter. This goes with my field maintenance for autonomous lawnmowers or quadcopters that spray weeds, identify weeds individually, and they can do this at night. So you imagine getting your grass cut for your baseball field or your soccer field at night when nobody's on it, like after 10 p.m. And so when you show up, of course, you want to do it after the sprinklers, before the sprinklers come on in the morning. So you can already see that there are places where we are natural fits for early adoption. And really, I think as long as I am helping to showcase people that have decided to build companies around working with municipal governments, Parks and Recreation on AI and AI agents, then lo and behold, we could be an early adoption industry and lead the charge rather than be the last one to adopt new technology and waiting. Why would we want to wait decades for increased efficiencies when we're already struggling as an industry to do everything that's thrown at us with limited resources and limited manpower? Let's just jump in and embrace these new technologies that make us super efficient as an industry, and then we'll have more bandwidth to be able to run a better park system, do more special events. We'll be able to do more playgrounds, plant more trees, you name it. Parks and Recreation, till the end of time, always has a stack of projects that they just can't afford to get to or manage. And so anything we can do to streamline the current operation just allows us to accomplish those urban forests that we want planted, those playgrounds that we want updated. those deferred maintenance projects that we want to bring closer and closer to being complete. And then we can even start chewing on this new list of projects that's never ending, or that special event that we now may have a little more bandwidth to handle. So I'm all for getting us on there on the technology bandwagon now, not later. So if you're okay with that, I'm going to keep pushing it. And of course, y'all know I love Bitcoin, and I'm gonna be beating this drum till I'm dead. I have a city that is now holding it as a treasury reserve asset, which is how me and other companies are using Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Kind of like we keep a big pot of gold over here in deep storage, and we only tap into it when we consume maybe our immediate storage. This is kind of more of a long-term store of value. And I know all you bean counters are flipping out right there in the city government saying, how do we hold it? But don't worry. The banks are now starting to accept Bitcoin as collateral, just like real estate. And you, as a municipal government, when you have your little reserve capital for a rainy day, can now maybe diversify 5 to 10% of that into the strongest asset on earth, Bitcoin. That can't be stolen, can't be rehypothecated. These are all terms that maybe y'all don't understand. But just like AI, AGI, and AI agents, I want to bring this into as a gift to Parks and Recreation to increase efficiencies, to reserve capital at a more efficient level, to grow the capital that you have. And you're not going to be the first one. Fortunately, the pension fund of Wisconsin has already diversified $158 million of its pension. And believe me, pension fund managers are the most risk-averse people. So if you are an accountant or a bean counter, and I hope that's not a derogatory statement when I say bean counter, I mean it I love my bean counters. I dream in spreadsheets with you. So I know you hate to be the first one, and of course cities are very, very slow and cautious. Don't worry, I will bring forth some cities that have already done this, and there's already pension funds that work for states. Some of the biggest pension funds in America have already accepted this as a treasury reserve asset. And why am I doing that? Of course, you want to know the why. It's because this is kind of like a mission of mine. I don't get anything for that, so I don't think you can. It's hard to make money in Bitcoin as far as a service provided, but I've always said that if you really love someone or you really love an organization, you should teach them how to be financially responsible. So this is in line with if I'd like to highlight the communities that do cost recovery well. It's because I know that there are many that don't do cost recovery well. And if we can highlight the top 10 cost recovery Parks and Rec agencies, then perhaps the others can learn from their lessons and update their systems and their tactics and strategies and become much better at cost recovery. So in the same vein of logic is what I think about Bitcoin. I know that as a treasury reserve asset, it's second to none. And I can say that because it's a commodity, not because it's a security. And if you don't know the difference, listen to my 9 p.m. show. So anyone can say buying land is a good investment. Anyone can say buying gold is a good investment. Anyone can say buying Bitcoin is a good investment because it's a commodity and it doesn't have an issuer. So anyway, I've talked enough about Bitcoin on my on my podcast dedicated to Parks and Recreation, facilities maintenance. Okay, so that's really all I have for y'all today as far as facilities maintenance. Tomorrow we do have Joseph from City of Dallas coming on for a second time to help us understand what the workflow is and what the weekly and monthly workflow is for his department. He's got 35 Parks and Rec facilities maintenance professionals that he manages and works underneath him as his team to accomplish a massive load of tasks that City of Dallas puts on him. And we're just kind of digging deep into his method, his systems that he uses, and really, pulling back the curtain of what is it like in the day, in the life, in a week, in a month of a facilities maintenance manager. And thank you, Joseph, for helping us with that. And then we've also got Daniel Schaefer coming on Wednesday for the same for facilities maintenance as well. So a couple of guys lined up here, and then I've got another guy that's tentative for Thursday, and then that'll finish out the week for our facilities maintenance show. Anyway, this is going to be 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10:30 a.m. For facilities maintenance. If you'd like to come on, please reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have a great message to share. If you'd like to recommend somebody, or if you know of a good vendor that's been serving you, that would like to maybe do an educational piece on our show. That's kind of what we're looking for right now, and it's starting to fill up. So try to get in there as soon as you can. All right, that's all I have for y'all today. We'll go ahead and close it out with a little intro with a promo for our YPN show, which we had a great one thanks to Molly, and I believe it was Alice that came on Friday. Go check that one out. Really good episode on the Young Professionals Network. So I'll close it out with a little promo here, but I will see y'all here 12 noon Eastern here in a few minutes let me see who our guest is today. Robert is today. So he will be coming on as my guest for the leaders in Parks and Rec. All right. See you in a bit. Love you guys. Bye.
The future of parks and recreation is here, and it starts with you. Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Recreation Show, where we bring you the latest insights, trends, and conversations shaping the world of parks and recreation. Today, we're diving into something that's shaping the future of our industry, Young Professional Networks, or YPN. If you love your job and love the parks and recreation community and are looking to connect with the next generation of leaders, this episode is for you. YPN is where driven, passionate professionals come together to connect, grow, and make a real impact. It's not just about networking, it's about building the future of our communities. Why join YPN? Career growth and mentorship. Learn from the best in the industry. Innovative ideas and collaboration. Be part of the next big movement. Leadership development. Take charge, make decisions, and create change. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take your career to the next level, YPN is your gateway to success. From exclusive networking opportunities to cutting-edge industry insights, this is where you build your legacy. Because the future of parks and recreation starts with you.